5 things that are standing between you wanting to live your desired reality and actually living it. For the majority of people who are looking into reality shifting methods, manifestation techniques online, they're not only wasting their time, but they're probably destroying their life. In this video, I'm going to share with you the reason why this is happening. Not only that, one crucial thing that most people overlook, that is the difference between actually receiving their desired reality or walking a different path where it doesn't happen. And then finally, I'm going to give you these questions that you can ask yourself, these 5 things that will change everything. But first, I would like to get something off my chest. If you're new to the channel, this is Joshua Andre, and I'm here to remind you who you truly are, so that ultimately you can live your best, most optimal destiny path in this lifetime and beyond. And you will know, if you've been following the channel for some time, that what I am sharing is not just theory. This is coming from experience. Over the last 5 years, I've been hosting many different online, in-person events, transformational experiences, where I've guided tens of thousands of people through different reality shifting and manifestation methods. And what this has allowed me to do is gather an unfathomed amount of data. It's not just me testing these things, seeing if it works, but it's me seeing tens of thousands of people go through different processes, seeing what exactly works and what doesn't. What is just superstition that is spread on the internet? The best place that I think we should start is the problem that most people are doing without even realizing. You see, when it comes to reality shifting or manifestation or creating the life that you desire, what do most people focus on? Most people are focusing, typing online, what is the next technique? What is this new thing that I can try? What is the next book that I can read about this? But the reality is, if you only focus on this, you're missing the thing that comes before this. If you only focus on the techniques, even if you get the technique right, what will happen is there'll be a high chance that when you use the technique, you will perceive it as not working. Not because it's not working, but because you haven't done this first thing. And what is this first thing? This first thing is illustrated in figure 1. Most people are focusing on techniques. What I'm going to be sharing with you in this video is the second thing that is more important, that comes first, is what are you actually using this technique for? Let me explain. You right now have an optimal life path that is set for you, where things are flowing more effortlessly, where you have your soulmate connection or your twin flame, or you have your dream outcome in terms of finances, where you're living, how your life looks like. It's there. Now, this isn't just random mumbo jumbo positive thinking. On a logical side, if you're more logical minded, it's thinking about in your whole life, if you made the most optimal decision for you in terms of what you can do to grow, in terms of what you can do to achieve, if you kept making the most optimal decisions, by the end of your life, you'll be at a completely different place compared to if you just made the decision of watching Netflix all day, every day for the rest of your life. Completely different. We can agree on that logically. If you're more open to deeper spiritual concepts, I was having a conversation with a Himalayan yogi before, and they were talking about how everybody on this planet has a certain destiny path, a certain higher destiny path, that if they fulfilled it, it would be the best, most optimal thing that they could achieve in this life. Now, I don't want you to think that this means that, okay, there's a destiny path that everybody needs to be a multi-millionaire, owning their own island, having private jets. It's not like that. For some people, their most optimal destiny path is learning how to be truly themselves, be authentic. They can do whatever they want, but as long as they're being themselves and spreading that divine energy, that is their most optimal. Think of your destiny path as it could be anything. Don't limit it to a specific thing or specific person. But this optimal destiny path is set out for you. In the timeline, it's there. Now, I want you to start thinking right now, which path are you on? Do you feel like you're on that golden thread path right now, or do you feel like there are some things that could be improved? Now, whatever you said to that question, the reality is, for most people, they don't exactly know which path they're on. Some people will have an inclination that, yeah, I'm not quite on the right path. Some people will think that they're on the right path. The reason for this is, we are being conditioned in every moment. But the interesting thing is that a lot of this conditioning, you don't even realize it happens. There are certain things that you might be aware that, okay, this probably had an impact on my life. But there are certain conditioning that isn't known, that is unknown. But the challenge comes in when this unknown conditioning happens that makes you think that you have certain thoughts that are your thoughts, but they're not actually your thoughts. You have certain things that you want in life, but they're not actually your wants. You see somebody achieve quote unquote success and you think that this is the path to success, but little do you know that that is their blueprint to success, not yours. Your success looks very different. Your most optimal destiny path is very different. Your true path is very different to this false path. And this is what we're speaking about here. False path versus true path. Now, when you are using these techniques, using it for a false path, a path that is not in alignment with your highest destiny path, even if you achieve the thing, you will experience a feeling of emptiness, a feeling of numbness, a feeling of like something is missing, a feeling of, oh, maybe this is just me being human, that I need to achieve something else. And on your path to achieving it, there'll be so much more resistance, limiting beliefs, procrastination, low energy, doubts, uncertainty. Then what happens is people then think that their problem is themselves with the procrastination, the limiting beliefs, the doubts. And yes, obviously there are certain elements in terms of shadow work that can be done or healing on this healing journey. But a lot of the times what I see, this isn't the only thing. It's because they're living a false path. They're trying to manifest a false path that isn't even for them deep down. Now what happens? Two things. The first one is this, because this deep down, they feel that this is not for them. There's internal resistance. They say you don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. And if you are being in resistance, you are going to manifest more resistance. So now what happens, they feel the internal resistance. Oftentimes it's ignored, it's suppressed, it's repressed, it's pushed down to the side. But even though it's pushed down, because they're still feeling that inner conflict inside, and you're manifesting who you are, what frequency you are, you manifest more of this resistance in your external reality. Does this make sense? And then people wonder why there's so much procrastination, why there's so much low motivation, low energy, depression, anxiety. This is the internal resistance being manifested on the external. You're seeing the external. You could say it's like the universe giving you a sign that something needs tweaking, something needs changing. And this is what we mean by, if you're into maths or science, you'll know what this bracket connotation means, but if you're not, don't worry about it. Resistance, internal, resistance, external. That you're experiencing in your life, no matter what technique you're using, which you perceive as when you achieve the thing, there's still that resistance, something feels off, or if you don't achieve it, reality is not budging, something's almost like giving you signs that you're making a few steps forward, but some steps back. So instead of going through this dramatic journey of going through all this unnecessary resistance in life, what can we do? Well, instead, we just focus on our true path, our most optimal destiny path. What is that true path for you? When you focus on this true path, and don't worry if you're not entirely sure what it looks like, how it could be, or if you think you're on your true path, but you're not entirely sure if you've been manifesting a false path this whole time, I'm going to get into that in a moment. But when you are living your true path, this is not me saying that you are, a lot of times people say, follow your passion, follow your purpose, follow the thing that you're passionate about. I'm not saying that. Why am I not saying that? It's because there's a big misconception. For some reason, when people hear follow my passion, what goes in this ear, what gets interpreted by the brain and comes out is follow the easy path. This is not what I'm saying here. Your most optimal path, I'm not saying that it's going to be the easiest path. I'm not saying that it's going to be the path where there's no challenges. I'm definitely not saying it's going to be the path where there's no pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. You probably will encounter challenges. You probably will encounter the fact that you need to push yourself outside your comfort zone. You probably will need to push yourself. Think about it. Watching Netflix probably isn't too far outside your comfort zone, but the thing that you're meant to be doing probably is far outside your comfort zone and in this moment, but soon it will become part of your comfort zone. But when you follow this true path, you will know it because you'll feel more energized. Even when you're doing things that are tougher for you, it's almost like something higher is calling you. There's a higher path, a higher mission. It's just this path, when you feel into it, it just resonates. And this is what these questions are for. And what these questions induce is what I call an alignment elevation loop. An alignment elevation loop. And what this means, very simply, is you start to become in alignment with your true path, your most optimal path. On a deep level, the part of you that is outside of time and space knows exactly what you need. They've even done studies where they've shown that intuition, a deeper part of you, can know something before it even happens in this reality. There's been many studies on this already. If you're interested in this sort of stuff, I definitely recommend looking into it. But your higher self, the deeper part of you, knows this path, can give you the guidance. And when you listen to this guidance, when you listen to your true calling, you get into alignment with that. Now there's not that internal resistance, so it doesn't manifest more resistance. Now there is that internal alignment which manifests more alignment, which is where the elevation becomes, because now your frequency is in alignment and it elevates. Now it's a loop, this alignment elevation loop. Now it loops back. You get into more alignment, you elevate even more, get into more alignment, elevate even more. This is when life just freaking feels good. Even when there's challenges, you just trust, you just know. You're not having to force it and fake that you're trusting. You legitimately trust, you legitimately know that this is the path for you. So now the question is, how can we know if we've been on a false path without even knowing it? And more importantly, what is our true path? What is the next steps for our most optimal path? Now, this is where these questions come in. So some of these questions I actually downloaded while speaking to my partner. When we discovered this concept, we were for some time like banging our heads on the wall trying to figure out, is this a true path? Is it not? How to know the difference? Then one day we were sitting in this park on this bench and then boom, these questions just came through. And when I asked it to my partner, it clicked for her. So yes, there's 5 pages here. It might be for you that the first question really triggers something in you. It might be for you that it's not the first question, but the third question really triggers something for you. It might be that today, when you ask yourself these questions, and I don't recommend you asking them now as I read them out, I recommend you screenshotting the questions and then spending some time on your own to go inwards. When mind is not so consumed, you have some time for yourself. But at least you have the questions now. But it might be the case where when you start these questions, that boom, it clicks instantly. Or it might be the case where it might take some days or even weeks of just going inwards every day or very often, and then it comes. So don't put any expectation on yourself to get this instantly. It can happen like that, but it might even be the case where it does take a bit longer, but at least you're giving yourself this time and figuring it out now so you don't waste your time trying some technique on a path that isn't even in alignment with your most optimal, highest mission in this lifetime. And if you're really not sure on what path you should be going down, do not worry. I'm going to explain something about that in a moment after I go through these. So the first question, when was the last time you felt super passionate about something? What was it? When was that last time? What was that thing that you felt super passionate about? What was it? What was it about that? Was it the whole thing that you was doing? Was it a certain element about it? What fueled that passion? What fueled that thing inside you? That's the first one. Second question, and I'm going to go through these rapid fire because I'm going to say something after these that will make a bit more sense as well on how you can get your most accurate answer, but definitely screenshot these once you get them all on the screen. So second question is, imagine you have already achieved your said goal on a particular path and all of this is behind you, like you've achieved it, it's all behind you now. Does it make you feel good or not? Does it make you feel good or not? What do you feel? Like imagine that all that is done and you're at that quote unquote end point for this particular path, this particular goal. Does it make you feel good or doesn't it? Now, if you have some pleasure mixed with some anxiety or a heavy feeling or like some inattention, there's a chance that this is a false path for you, right? Because your true path, at the end result part, you will feel almost like less resistance, more of an inner comfort, more of a calling towards this path. Third question, how comfortable does thinking about the path you're on make you feel inwardly? So the path that you're currently on, if you play that trajectory out mentally, how comfortable does it make you feel? So this is not from mind. This is just an inner comfort or tension. Because oftentimes you're doing it from mind because you're thinking, oh, if I go on this path, I'm going to be doing this, then this will happen, then this will happen, then maybe I'll do this. Your mind cannot see the full path. Your mind is limited by conditioning, by past experiences, what's happened to you in the past, by trauma. Most people's mind is programmed to just protect them. You cannot see the full picture. The part of you that is outside of time and space can. So this is not trying to justify certain things. This is just feeling whether there's inner comfort or inner tension when you think about the path that you're on and continuing on that path. The fourth one, your current path. Does it energize you? Are there any components to it that do energize you? If not, is it the path that's not energizing you or the way you're going about it? The second part of this question is key because maybe you don't feel energized, but it might not be that the path is not energizing you. It might just be that the way that you're going about it might need tweaking or maneuvering, and then it will start energizing you. So have a think. Is it that the whole path is not energizing you, or is it that the way that you're going about it is not energizing you? The fifth one, am I choosing this because it truly fits me or because I see others doing it? So is there a deeper pull to it beyond just logical reasoning? And when I say, does it truly fit you? This is important. I don't want you thinking that does it truly fit you because right now you can do this. Because I'll give you an example. Around 6-7 years ago, I had a goal that I wanted to learn speaking, communicating, public speaking, because I was so shy, so introverted. If you've been following the channel for a while, you've probably seen other videos about this. And I was just like, I had social anxiety. If I had to speak in public, I'll probably just rush to the bathroom to avoid speaking in public. And when the turn has finished and somebody else's turn to speak, I'll come back into the room. I just was not the most confident. But I had this pull, I had this urge, this calling to learn public speaking, to learn something deeper. And the interesting thing is, I remember I had a vision board. And on this vision board, it was the top right corner. I had a section where it was dedicated to learning, like, my vision of public speaking. And it was a picture of a microphone on a stage with like a, I don't know, 100 person crowd, 500 person crowd, some decent sized crowd. And every time in the morning when I would look at this vision board and I would see that picture, my heart would start beating, like anxiety. And it's so interesting because it was just a freaking picture. I wasn't even speaking to anybody. I was literally sitting on my floor at home looking at a picture and my heart was already beating. That's how big my anxiety was. But the interesting thing is, like, if you was to ask me back then, logically, is that for me? Does that make me feel comfortable? Does it fit in with who I am? I would say no. Because based on the last 20 plus years, that wasn't my life. But there was a deeper thing, like a nice feeling inside, like a calling to it, like a deeper knowing that this does fit with me. This is what I'm meant to be doing. Not being limited by all the stuff that was wrapped around me, the limitations, the fear, the doubt, the fear of judgment, all that stuff, that wasn't me. So this is important when I say this last question of, am I choosing this because it truly fits me or because I see others doing it? This is not for you to compare of like right now, can you do it in the state that you are in now? Because maybe it's not, but does it fit you as who you truly know you are? Or are you just doing it because other people are doing it? Because you saw this person be successful and you think that this is the path you have to do. Maybe you're not meant to be a Forex trader. Maybe it's something else on a deeper level, communicating on a deeper level, public speaking, being an influencer, I don't know. Could be anything. I said that for a reason. Maybe there's a reason for you. Now, final thing I want to share, and by the way, if you are enjoying videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos like this and more of these videos pop up on your feed that are in alignment with your highest, most optimal destiny path. But the final thing that I want to say on this, last question that you might have is, how long will it take me to get the answers to this, to get the most accurate answers to this? Well, it depends on your ability to go inwards. It really does. Because the biggest problem that I see with people doing things like this is they try to think of the answers from their logical mind. They think, oh, based on past experience, based on their logical rationale, this is the answers I should give. But if I went based on my logical mind with that, for example, that speaking example alone, I would never have been able to impact the tens of thousands of people through public speaking that I have. I would never have been able to achieve something like that. So in order to get your most accurate answers, the quickest answers, it really depends on your ability to tap in and connect to your higher self, God, source, the universe, whatever you call that higher energy. So if you want to learn how to discover your higher self, your true inner voice, and connect to this on a deeper level before you even answer these questions, to get your most accurate insights, your fastest, most optimal way to live this most optimal path, make sure to check this video out here where I give you the exact blueprint to speaking and connecting to your higher self. So you can do this even before you start answering these questions, so you get the most accurate answers and you shift in the most optimal way for you. And by the way, if you're watching this video as I've posted it or in the few days after I've posted it, this video is not out yet. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna recommend that you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss my next video where I'm gonna post this video. But equally in the meantime, you can watch this video down here that your higher self is recommending to you to live your optimal path in the meantime while you wait for that next video. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Much love, all the best.